Hey there, readers and adventurers.
And welcome to Becca's Book Club Adventure. I'm Becca,
And I'm Matt,
and thanks for escaping reality with us.
as we ask, Mirror, mirror on the wall, how did Snow White fare against them all?
But before we do that, we need to pause and acknowledge the sponsor of today's episode.
That's right, this week's episode is brought to you by Screen Time Addicts Anonymous. Do you spend most of your day staring into a medium-sized screen? Do you like to unwind afterwards by turning on a big screen in tandem with your little screen? Well, you're not alone. Many of us enjoy screen time, even though we know we need less of it. Screen Time Addicts Anonymous is a proven 7-step program to begin taking back control. Benefits include fewer headaches, decreased insomnia, minimized doom scrolling, and regulated levels of dopamine. Contact us today to join the sensation.
And with that in mind, let's focus on some big screen content. Tell me about the new Snow White.
All right, so I got Elizabeth to go see the new live action adaptation of Snow White with me a few days ago. And I've got some hardcore thoughts and feelings about this shit. First of all, have you seen it or are you planning to see it?
I haven't seen it yet. If I go, it's probably going to be a date night with Becca because when we were in the JFK airport and we went up and down the escalators 30 times, we watched the Snow White content, and I kept asking Kevin if he was interested, and he was like, no. But if you want to go, you go.
Okay, so let's tackle this in a few different chunks. First of all, let's just get right to what everybody wants to know. What was my overall rating and would I see it again? All right. First of all, I personally loved it and I would definitely see it again. So I really, really, really liked the Beauty and the Beast remake from years and years ago. I thought they hit the mark because they made the world a little bigger. They made the world a little realer and all of that happiness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Snow White is different, right? It it tried to make the world bigger, but that's not what it did for me. If anything, I thought it was really, really true to the fairy tale world, but it
Mm.
expanded the story more and it provided like a lot of connective tissue within the narrative that you get in the animated version. And because of that, a lot of moments at the end land a lot harder. They have more poignancy because you were given more context for why those things are important to the characters leading up to it.
Do we get more about the dwarfs?
Yes. They have a little bit more of a backstory. You get a little bit more of their mining job.
Okay.
And I think their personalities are more hyperbolic
Okay. Yes,
to go with their
absolutely.
names. Um, Personally, I think that a lot of people are turned off by live action remakes from Disney. Um, for the main reason that when you get a live action movie, you're expecting stuff to be more real. But like we have to remember these are still fantasy fairy tales in a made up fucking world. And they're going to be campy, they're going to be kitschy, they're going to be hyperbolic, they're going to be unrealistic. That's like what the fairy tale is, right? That's why it's a fairy tale and not real life.
Right? Like The Little Mermaid has been on my to-do list to watch because it's The Little Mermaid and it was live action. But like what do you expect live action to be when the plot line is that we're under the sea?
Um which that one I've seen that one and I definitely recommend going and seeing it. I don't know if I like it better than the animated version, but it's 1000% worth seeing. But I think if you keep that in mind, I don't think all of the stuff that people complain about in these live action remakes matters. Um, so like I thought like what went really, really well is the added story elements and songs. I thought it gave a really good backstory to the world, to a lot of the characters. I thought um, some of that backstory, those songs, actually showed a really good passage of time. Because, like, this is no spoiler, right? Snow White is a little girl, and then suddenly she's like a teenager.
Yeah.
And we
In
get a
a
little bit
cottage in
more
the
of that
woods.
connective tissue this time. And um, like the good connective tissue there is also like, why why in the world in the animated version does Snow White accept a poisoned apple from a hag in the forest that she's never met?
Yeah, we get zero details there, really.
But there's connective tissue in this live action, and it makes it make sense.
Okay.
Um, I actually really liked Gal Gadot as the Evil Queen.
Yeah.
Um, like Gal Gadot is not the best actress in the world. Like we can all agree on that. But again, this is not a Shakespearean drama, right? This the Evil Queen is a mix between hyperbolic, cartoonish evil, and then you put a real actress in there, and it has to be a little bit more real life. I'm not saying it was like an Oscar worthy performance, but it fit really well into the fairy tale.
Yeah.
Um, I really liked the different styles of singing. I think that sometimes what movies do wrong is that everybody is an amazing singer.
Yeah. No, that's not true.
It's not true. And I liked that Snow White has some people with really amazing voices. Other people can sing. They might not have like vibrato in their voice, but they hit all of the notes and the swells and the dynamics and everything. And then there's a couple of characters that can't carry a tune in a bucket to save their life, you know? So I really liked that dichotomy, and it gave the characters more character, you know, not everybody
Yeah.
was just like this perfect singer. And then the Easter eggs are really fun along the way. I um, wasn't even looking for them. So if I was actually looking for them, I'm sure I would have found more, but I found three: Sleeping Beauty, The Lion King, and Beauty and the Beast.
I
So
like
I'm
how they
sure
kind of
I'm sure we're gonna
treat.
go find like a YouTube video or something that's gonna be like, did you catch all 137 of these Easter eggs? But
So the only thing I've really seen about Snow White so far, other than the 90-second trailer I watched 300 times at the JFK airport, was on Instagram. I saw a really interesting comparison of the coloring of this movie compared to the what is it, the 94 version of it. And so someone spent the time to kind of change the colors in the current posters to be more akin to the 1994
hmm,
coloring that was more original to Snow White, right? Like, so like in the movie posters right now, her skirt is very yellow, but in the
uh,
original one, it's more of a cream colored skirt. So like the colors are right, but not right. And so I
uh,
think that adds to your point of like it is a hyperbolic world, right? So
uh,
this hyper colors, this hyper realistic kind of scenario. But also I thought it was funny because in there I was like, they also remade these and like added more color, like in the early 2000s. Like that was a thing.
yeah. And actually, the color of her dress goes like is one of the things that I don't know if I liked it or I didn't like it. So part of what I enjoyed about this remake is that the world is very colorful, but then when she's cast out, the world is very like drab,
Oh.
right? So her dress is still the iconic blues and reds and yellows and like very bright. And so it almost sticks out like a sore thumb. So I'm not sure if I don't like that because of the juxtaposition between the drab backdrop and her, or if I really like how amazing and cartoonish she looks. Um, and otherwise, you get a lot more at the dwarves, and you go into the mine with them. And my only real gripe is that the mine is too much. And like, I don't want to give spoilers away because you don't really get that in the animated version, but like in my opinion, it was a little bit too much. So like the things I don't like about the movie are really nitpicking. I thought it was a great movie, and I'm starting to wonder if people don't like the movie. I'm starting to wonder if people's review of this movie are the same concept of people's Amazon reviews. How many times how many times do you read a review on Amazon for a product that is like, this is 1 out of 5 stars. The box was damaged in shipping. Or this is 1 out of 5 stars. Their customer service sucks. Or
Or it's 5 out of 5 stars. It arrived.
it
You're like,
arrived quickly.
okay.
I'm starting to think that people don't like this because of groupthink.
Mm-hmm.
Because the main criticisms against this is the woke casting, which I'm so over that. I don't give a shit. A character is a character. It's a made up fucking character. And Americans in particular really need to get over the concept of people being of color. Because if you go over to Europe in the 1400s and the 1500s and you think about how Europe was propagated by the Italians and the Greeks and the Ottomans, Europe was never whitewashed, okay? Olive and tan skin was everywhere.
Yep.
It just is. Um, and then, of course, people didn't like the CGI dwarves because they're a little kitschy, but then there's also criticisms against the CGI dwarves because it's, quote, taking away real jobs from the
Oh my God.
minority. And I don't understand how you can be upset about that and then in the same breath be upset that Snow White wasn't 100% white. How can it be? Anyways, um, apparently there was some criticism about Gal Gadot's acting, but like it's a fantasy world. This is not an Oscar worthy. Like it's anyway.
Yeah,
I thought she
she's
was perfect
telling
as
of
the
a known
queen.
story.
People didn't like the expanded songs. They're not as good as the originals, but like no new song is as good as the originals. The songs they added into the remake of Beauty and the Beast were not as good as the original songs of Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, because
And
it's not nostalgic.
exactly,
It has
exactly.
nothing to do with the quality. It has everything to do with the nostalgia and the memory that it takes you back to.
It's another Amazon review. And then I think the only other criticism, but this is not a criticism of the movie, and this is why I'm saying it's an Amazon review. People were pissed off at Rachel Zegler, the actress for Snow White, because she made the movie all of the interviews and stuff she did about her political beliefs and stuff. And like I haven't seen any of that. I was just looking some of this up before we got on here, and this is where I guess I do not understand people's inability to separate a real life person from a made up character.
Also, someone used the platform that they were given to vocalize things that are important to them. I feel like that's pretty standard. Sounds a
Yeah.
lot better than a sports ball interview where they're like, I sportsed good. Sports. I need to sports better next time.
I want to give all the thanks to God for my ability to catch a ball. Yeah.
Like, I feel terrible for those poor athletes anytime the microphone gets shoved in their face because they're A, exhausted from doing their sportsing, but also, what are they supposed to say when they lose or whatever?
Yeah. So I do not think this is the best live action remake that they've done, that Disney has done. I think
I
that
think Beauty and the Beast is still your favorite.
I think Beauty and the Beast is the best live action remake that they've done. I think that The Little Mermaid was better. Um, I do think that Aladdin ranks below this one, and I think that The Lion King and Mufasa and those live action remakes that they make um, are below this one. I think this is firmly in the middle of all of the live action remakes that Disney has done.
Seems like I have a lot of content to catch up on because I haven't seen all of those. But also, I'm with you on the like Lion King, right? So Lion King was my absolute favorite movie growing up because animals.
Mhm.
That doesn't translate well live action. Like, I've seen the Broadway play, and they do it well, but it's a Broadway play with humans, right? So, like, I liked the Cats movie because of all the CGI that was with it. Like, you could tell they were people, but there was also, they were cats. And
Mhm.
so I feel like if you don't lean into the CGI component of it, you can't do something like that.
I think Mufasa, the prologue one specifically, just chose a really bad weekend to come out. It came out the same, or maybe 1 week before, or the same weekend as Wicked. And
Uh,
can we all just agree that Wicked has the best talking animals via CGI that have ever been put on screen?
I was highly captivated watching part 1, and I cannot wait till part 2.
Um,
Kevin was captivated watching that.
oh, Wicked was good. Wicked was really good. Uh, yeah, I saw it a couple weeks before we all saw it as a family, and it was just as good the second time around. But Snow White, I thought Snow White was great. Is it a 5 out of 5? No. It's like a 3.5 out of 5. Like, I'm probably going to buy it and I'm going to watch it again.
I
But
was
it's
gonna
not
say,
my
so,
go-to.
like, I'll wait till it comes to Disney Plus and watch it.
Yeah. But yeah, also I mean, Elizabeth and I kind of collect some of these things, so I'll probably buy it as well, but definitely watching it on Disney Plus when it comes out. Um okay, so still going to go see it all on your lonesome, or do you need me to come down south and watch it with you?
I'll have to actually see if it's playing in our movie theaters, seeing as our movie theaters are pretty sad locally. But yeah, I think I might take myself on a date to go see it.
As somebody who used to live where you live and would take himself to the movies by himself all the time, it's definitely worth it. That Duxie?
No, Delilah.
That was
I love that you
Delilah's
just
ears. I love
hit
it.
her head. Yep.
Well, if any of you listeners out there have seen the new Snow White movie, I would be extremely interested to hear your feedback. Did you hate the movie because the movie itself was really bad, or do you actually think that your media driven opinion of it was coloring your opinion after you watched it? Like, leave us a comment, send us a DM, something, let us know.
And you can email us at bookclubbybecca@gmail.com, or you can find us on Instagram at Becca's Book Club Adventure. All one word, all lowercase.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the movie, just go ahead, leave us a comment, leave us a review. I'd love to hear from you, and if you do, we might just feature you on the next episode.
Speaking of which, next time on Becca's Book Club Adventure, we'll be diving into chapters 21 to 37 for The House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. And it sounds like Matt and I might be finishing the other half of the book we started this week to quell the angst we had.
Yeah. So until next time, contact us about Screen Time Addicts Anonymous, join the sensation, and keep reading them books.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.